Okie dokie. So, squash. Do you have zucchini coming out of your ears? This is that time of year where neighbors drop by with zucchini, and people are leaving it on my porch, which I actually love. It's really inexpensive at the farmers market and at the grocery store. So we're going to show you how to what to do with it. I love this casserole. You know me, I'm the queen of casseroles. So this is a great big, cheesy, delicious squash casserole, perfect with all those cookouts to have a warm side dish. It's just great for dinner, even by itself with a salad or as a great side. So, and really fast and fabulous. I mean, super easy to do. So we're starting out with 2 cups of water, and I turned the burner on just to get it going a little bit. I'm going to season that water with a little bit of salt, and I'm going to get to work on dealing with my zucchini and my yellow summer squash. First of all, it's really important to wash the heck out of your zucchini and summer squash because it can be sandy and gritty, and you don't want any of that in your casserole. So make sure you take the time to do that. Sometimes I'll even use a scrub brush to really get at it. So yeah, I'm not sure what we're up to today. I'm kind of feeling a little odd about that. I usually have a plan. My whole life is planned out, but sometimes I guess it's good not to have a plan. So follow me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram to see what we end up doing this weekend. I know my son Riley, who is a freshman or sophomore in college, is coming home. I called him last night. I said, do you want to come home? Do you want to hang with the buds? And he said, well, I could come home for a day or so. I think he's got laundry. I'm thinking that's the reason. So anyway, I have a feeling we're going to be staying put, but we'll see. Okay, so really wash that squash well. And I'm just going to keep it easy. And this is such a big one, zucchini, that I think this might even be enough. The recipe calls for about 4 zucchini and summer squash. You can dice it. I'm just doing these half moons. And then I'm going to get it into the boiling water, which I better get her in there quickly or the water's going to boil away on me. With some onion, 1/2 cup of finely diced onion. And you can really dice it fine if you want to hide it in there for the kids. My zucchini is just going to go in here along with my summer squash, my yellow summer squash, which is so pretty this time of year. So I like to, if I'm serving just, sauteed vegetables, I like to do one of each. This was a little teeny bit brown, so I'm just going to take a vegetable peeler and get rid of a little bit of that skin. You don't really have to peel it, though. Just want it to look a little bit more pretty. My husband, Bob, I remember when I was first dating him and cooked him dinner a couple times in my college apartment. And I was asking him, when you're getting to know someone, what he likes. And I happen to love zucchini. I've always loved zucchini. And he was like, I do not like zucchini. Don't be serving me that. And I thought, well, he likes a lot of other vegetables. He loves broccoli, big broccoli guy. I thought, why doesn't he like zucchini? And I think it was because growing up, and I love my mother-in-law dearly, don't get me wrong, but she would really cook it until it was very mushy. So I started sauteing it for him, and now it's actually seriously one of his favorite vegetables. So if it's been a while since you've had zucchini and you've boiled it forever in a day, maybe try just sauteing it in a little olive oil or butter, or making this casserole with, there's nothing not to love about this casserole. Cheese and a great, wonderful, crunchy topping. It's going to be yummy. I think I'll do just half of this one and then get to work on I normally like to, when I'm buying zucchini, especially at the farmer's market or even at the grocery store, I like to look for the smaller to medium size. I don't really like the big ones. I think that tends to get a little bit bitter. So that's just another tip if you're heading to the farmer's market this weekend and you're going to pick up some zucchini. Okay, so I just want to let this simmer for a few minutes just to start to cook it, but I don't want to get it mushy. So while that's doing its thing, I'm going to move on to the second recipe, or the second part of this recipe, I should say. We are going to talk a little bit more today about our next big night out. We'll go through the whole menu and give you the details. I know we've been getting a lot of questions about that. And speaking of questions, a lot of phone calls and emails and Facebook messages about our new time slot. It starts on Monday. Yes, we will be here all next week. We start at 10 o'clock. So we're just going to bump it back an hour later. We're going to go from 9. We used to be at 9, of course. Obviously, you know that. Now we're moving to 10 a.m. So the lineup is going to go Good Day Wisconsin, and then right after Good Day Wisconsin is going to be live with Kelly and Michael, and then we will come on right here at 10 o'clock. So hopefully you'll still be watching. We'll be here. All right, 2 eggs. I'm going to beat together with about 1/3 cup of milk.
What kind of milk?
We love our Lamer's milk, local, in the glass bottle. The best. All right, throw that in there. And we'll get back to the eggs in just a minute. Zucchini's almost, just needs another minute or so. And now we're going to work on the crunchies. The crunchy part of this recipe is 1 sleeve of buttery crackers. I just use Ritz, but you know, whatever's on sale, whatever you have. And I get them into a Ziploc bag. And you know me, my favorite part about the casserole is the crunchies, the topping. These are so soft, you can just kind of use your hands. Anne's got the old meat mallet out there for me, but I don't even think I need that. So we're going to take those buttery crackers. You could even do a few more if you wanted to. And then we've got a couple of cups of shredded cheddar cheese from Springside Dairy, and we love their cheese. Okay, so I'm mixing together the cheese and the crackers. Now I'm going to drain my zucchini and my summer squash, which has just started cooking. You don't want to overcook it because it's going to bake again in the oven, and I want it to have a little bit of a texture to it. This is so good with grilled chicken or pork chops, whatever you're grilling this weekend. Just makes a nice side. Okay. So you see all that butter? You could certainly cut back on it. But into my squash, I'm adding a few tablespoons of butter, a little bit of salt and pepper. And you could certainly even leave out the butter or do a little bit of olive oil. And I'll get that off the heat. I'm going to add about half of the cracker and cheese mixture and our eggs and milk. I told you this was fast and fabulous, and yes, you can make it ahead of time. A couple hours before or even morning of, and park it in your fridge. I wouldn't put the actual topping, which I'm going to show you on, until right before baking though, because I want that to be nice and crisp. So pour that in. Kind of spread it around. Put the rest of the topping over the top. So good. And then a little more butter. Again, you don't have to do this. I don't know why you wouldn't. No, just kidding. But this is just going to really make the top buttery and wonderful. Abby, my producer, said, and this is a good point, you could just omit this altogether with the cheese and the breadcrumbs, but those little spritzers, you could do a little olive oil in that and just spray the top to get that nice crunch. So into the oven this goes, 350, takes about 40 minutes or so. Oh boy, Ann, I made a mess for you today. Today, she says every day. Okay, there you go. Thank you. It smells so delish. So you want to serve it warm out of the oven, bubbly, And this is what it looks like. My squash casserole doesn't get much easier than that. It is so good and really a taste of summer. And you can find the recipe on our website.